I want to be really familiar with an area of the lake that I feel like I can do multiple things in the same day. If patterns change, patterns go away, new patterns start developing, I want to be able to bounce around and hit different types of structure, different types of cover, different, like, different things in a very small area to make sure that I'm very efficient. So that's something I really study a lot when it comes to maps, trying to just get a good idea of an area of the lake that I can be very versatile in. Because at the end of the day, it's always changing. The conditions are always changing. The fish are always changing. The pattern is always changing by the minute. So if I can make those quick adjustments in a certain section of the lake, that's usually one that I want to break things down in. And there is some outside, there has been times where there's a certain section of the lake that just, maybe it's up the river, and there's really not a whole lot to it, but that's the dominating pattern at the time. But that's when it comes into understanding what time of the year you're at that lake and what kind of patterns you can already know will probably be going on. If it's in the fall, the bait fish are making their migrations back into the creeks, back up the river. Sometimes that stuff really comes into play. And so you can have an idea of that. But generally speaking, especially early in the year, I'm trying to find an area of the lake that I can break down effectively, efficiently, and be very versatile in. Doing all this is going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, but that's one of the most important things about this. And if you look at anybody that's been successful in this industry, there are no shortcuts to that success. There's no way of going around that. You've got to put in the hard work. You've got to put in the time. You've got to put in the dedication. One of the biggest things I see that a lot of young anglers are aspiring to, like they come up to me and say, "Hey, look, man, what is it going to take for me to be fishing at your level?" And there just is no shortcut to that success. And the truth of the matter is that everyone walks in different shoes and different paths and walks in life. So I can't tell you the exact path of what you're going to have to take to get there. But what I can say is there's not going to be any shortcuts to that path. And you're going to have to put in the time on the water, the time off the water, and you're going to have to absolutely consume yourself with your dedication to being successful in this sport. But the reality of it is that's truly anything in life. Whether or not you're running the Bass University, or you have a construction company, or you want to work in realty, there's no shortcut to success in life, and fishing is definitely not any different. You become a professional athlete, and you've got to dedicate yourself to it. And so, as a kid, like if I could speak to those high school anglers and tell them anything, go out there and enjoy it, have fun, do it yourself. Don't get those waypoints from that guide on the lake. Don't get those waypoints from your buddy that has won tournaments on that lake at that time. Go out there and figure it out yourself, and it'll be so much more rewarding to you in the end, and you're going to get better. If I give somebody the winning spot and they go out there and they win that tournament on that spot, it's great, it's phenomenal, but in reality, they didn't get better that day. I mean, to the outside, it looks like they did, but you really didn't go out there. You didn't figure it out yourself. You didn't learn it. And down the road, whenever you're let's say you do make it to the next level and you get in a position where you can't get that information, you're not going to feel comfortable going out there and doing it on your own. So learn how to do it on your own at an early age, have fun with it, and consume yourself with it, dedicate yourself to it, and success is inevitable at that point. You may not actually end up being a professional angler one day, but you could get a job within the industry, or let's say you get a job outside the industry. It's the same thing with any other, baseball, high school football. All that stuff teaches you work ethic, it teaches you good morals, integrity, and it teaches you how to be successful in life, and fishing is no different than that. So, we went through everything that I do, like, to get prepared for the tournament before I ever get there. Now let's go into practice a little bit, right? So from the start of practice, I'm going to have an idea, right? I want to get an idea of what I think is going on, but I want that to stay the same really throughout practice. I don't want to get too dialed in on anything in practice, right? Because the conditions change.